And a very warm welcome to you from Lake Placid, this legendary winter sports venue where we can sit back and enjoy the views of the Adirondack Mountains, the very best in the world going head-to-head at the Mount Van Hooverberg Olympic Sliding Center. Now, it's important to tell you, as well as this great crowd, we have a change to our schedule because of the weather conditions in New York State. The only action that we have today, the 2 runs of the women's singles event, cowbells and all, and tomorrow we'll pack in both the women's and men's doubles, as well as the men's singles and the mixed singles and doubles. Fingers crossed that the weather holds for what will be a very, very busy Saturday. Should be a dramatic Friday. You can see the weather in the background. There is snow in the air, plenty of rain as well. The wind has been the major issue so far. And here we have the athletes going through their final warm-ups ahead of the race. The luge will go on. And alongside me, a man of the luge, a 2-time Olympian, Mark Hatton. And what a dramatic weekend we have in store, and dramatic weather as well, Mark.
Well, hello, Dave. Hello, everybody. Yes, I mean, we've had everything this week. We've had snow, rain, and high winds. And I just got a message from the track, actually, from Ken Child saying, however windy it looks on camera, it's 30 times windier out there on the track right now.
And the wind is the big problem, but it won't stop these athletes, of course. Many different ways of getting yourself ready. I should tell you, by the way, because new fans coming to Luge all the time, exactly where we are. I always like to place us in the world, as it were. Lake Placid's in upstate northeastern New York. The Adirondack Mountains, Essex County is where we are. If you're picturing the state, a map of it, of course you know that map of New York well, north of Albany, south of the Canadian border, that kind of area, close to Wilmington, Saranac Lake, all around there. And many, particularly of these US athletes, of course, know this course very, very well indeed. We'll have Mark's traditional POV, his point of view down the course in just a moment. We'll give you that course map as well. Just explain, Mark, if you would, how the weather affects these athletes and why, for example, the wind has caused so many problems here.
Well, we've had so much snow recently as well, and that's one of the big worries for the athletes, is that the wind is blowing right up the track and it blows the snow into the track and it collects. And you actually get little snow drifts forming on the side of the track sometimes. So what's going to happen is the track crew, they're going to sweep every 5 athletes just down the start ramp and out of curve 14 to curve 17, which is where it can get really difficult when it's windy. It's a long straightaway, there's a compression, which makes the sled very light as it comes back uphill. And then if the wind gets underneath the sled, it makes it very difficult to control. So it's going to be conditions that these athletes haven't had this week in training. This wind just picked up over the last day, and it's going to be incredibly interesting with the wind and the snow.
It's really interesting to get your perspective. So it's not the wind itself necessarily, it's what the wind does to the snow and therefore what that does to the course that's the issue. So well explained. I'm waiting to see our pictures down the mountain in just a moment. Lots of stretch bands, lots of medicine balls, everything to help these athletes get themselves ready. Winter Olympics have twice been held at Lake Placid, 1932 and 1980. I always remember 1980 when I was young. Eric Heiden's Olympics, rather. And Bernhard Glass of East Germany won gold in the men's luge. Vera Zozula won the women's singles. Hans Rinn and Norbert Hahn won the doubles. Only 3 events at those Olympic Games in 1980. We're very much focused here towards the end of 2025. There's the course, curve 5 there. Mark assessing conditions as always. What are the main challenges here?
I think what's going to be good is it should be pretty consistent with the ice temperatures.
I knew when I asked Mark a question, imminently this would appear. And so it came to pass. Track length 1130, a vertical drop of 128 meters, 16 corners on this women's course. Devil's Highway, and then Shady too. Famous Devil's Highway, taking us through the top part of that course from curves 4 to 9. The S's initially. Eventually we head through Benham's Bend into the chicane. Then we move towards that finish line, down the side of a mountain, and here is Mark to talk us through the POV.
It's a shot from men's start here, and this are those top curves we were talking about, where it's so important for the home athletes, especially to be loose in the shoulders. This is the Devil's Highway. And this is Shady. This is a signature curve on the track, and this puts us into this long, fast labyrinth. This is somewhere where it can get dicey into 12, and then into Benham's Bend on the straightaway. Now you've got chicanes here as well you've got to watch out for. It's not dead straight, and that brings you into 17. Almost a reset curve, but then it's very quick through 18, into 19. It's a long, long course, and across the finish line, through the braking straight, and there we go.
Beautifully done.
And this temperature, probably the best temperatures we've had all season so far. Actual -2 air, that's quite, well, it's quite unique for this season. And that is going to mean that hopefully we're going to have a consistent ice surface for everybody.
Track record held by Julia Taubitz, who's had a slightly sluggish start to this season. Tatjana Hüfner of Germany with the start record. By the way, Kaya Hatton did wonderfully well to qualify through the Nations Cup. Came 19th to make it into this start list, so Mark will be in nervous dad mode, and she is last out. Caitlin Nash gets us underway. Big names, Hofer, who went so well in Park City, Hannah Prock, who won in Winterberg. The big names, Schulte and Taubitz and Frabel, who'd love a win. And there's the second part of those Nations Cup qualifiers, including Trinity Ellis, and as I mentioned, Kaya Hatton as well. Nice crowd has gathered. Canadian flag there. Couple of Canadian flags making a lot of noise. Much of the track is covered from the snow. As Mark was saying, though, they will still get out and deal with things and try and clear the snow away. It's going to be right now, as we're watching, then after the 5th competitor, the 10th, the 15th, the 20th, and the 25th, they'll blow the start ramp and chicane. The sweeping break a minute before Caitlin Nash gets underway.
Caitlin Nash.
There's something for those Canadian fans to cheer. Caitlin 19th in the women's singles in Winterberg, 15th in Park City, 5th in the Nations Cup, and the higher you are in that Nations Cup, it can get you an early start. Summer Britcher will tell you exactly what early starts can mean. Our Park City winner. That was truly remarkable, that event, the women's singles there. Still can't quite work out what happened. Great win for her.
Track is clear to start 3 for Caitlin Nash.
Great pictures, aren't they? Shows you what the cold can do to you. From Whistler, Caitlin Nash, and she will get our Lake Placid weekend underway. To start, the most important thing, a real rhythm track, this very tough on mistakes as she heads through the top part of the course, heads towards that Devil's Highway and starts to pick up speed here.
Yes, got well through there, through the Devil's Highway. And this is Shady, the biggest curve on the course. And this is what sets the tone for this labyrinth. As we see her go 11 to 12. Very high in the exit of 12. Manages to get it together for 13. Now this is going to be critical into that compression, out of Benham's Bend and safely into 17.
Controlling things pretty well. That minor mistake we saw a little higher up the course, but here comes Caitlin Nash. 45.171. You can really sense the weather. I know we're covered, but snow all around here adds to the drama. And the smile from Caitlin Nash. Remember, top 20 will go through to our second run later on this evening.
That's a great shot there of the compression out of 14. As the sled comes down from that curve, it goes deep into that compression and then releases as you go along that straightaway towards 17.
Now for the first time this season, from the AIN, Daria Olesic, fourth in the Nations Cup.
Start 1 for Daria Olsen.
See Sandra Robacha waiting in behind. You have to feel that these conditions affect the athletes. Concentration, technique, so important. So hard to stay focused on the job in hand. Let's see what Olesic can do. She's in the green at the moment. Keep an eye on that clock. When it's green, the athlete out on the track is currently beating the best time. Once it goes red, it's when there's trouble. Olesic's going pretty well at the moment.
Late to 12 and very high, skidding round 13. Getting it back together for 14. This is where it's going to be critical through the chicanes. She makes it through safely to 17, gets a chance to reset in curve 17 into the finish curve. Long, high G-force curve and crosses the line, dropping back behind Caitlin Nash. The individual neutral athlete, Olesic, into second place.
Yeah, she lost time down at the bottom of the course. She was ahead all the way. Despite that skid that we saw, that's when she was really high and it put her in that poor position. She recovered it pretty well though, didn't she? And there she is, Daria Olesic.
So important for these athletes when mistakes like that happen to stay relaxed, stay calm, keep the body soft. Easier said than done.
Now Sandra Robacha, third in the Nations Cup. There's birthday celebrations in Park City. You might remember she was 19th in the end. Great weekend though in general for Italy, and Robacha very much part of that Italy team. Staying on the right-hand side of that ramp. Good position at the start. She's just over 100th of a second quicker than Caitlin Nash, but we know that Nash picked up time down at the bottom of the course. So let's see how Robacha can navigate this awkward top part as she heads through that Devil's Highway. And now she heads and starts to pick up speed.
That entrance to 11 looking much better. Just a little early on to 13, but most athletes would take that line every day of the week. And good through to 17.
It's a really good time at the moment, this from Robacha. Now's the time, though, to try and find that racing line. She's flying here, Robacha. And that is excellent from her. Over 3/10 better than Nash. And the Italian takes the lead. And that time could end up looking pretty useful.
Solid run there, as we saw in the labyrinth. And I hope you see that. She had a great start curve. Little high here in the entrance of the finish curve. That's quite costly, because it's going uphill, another one of those uphill curves, but very, very solid opening gambit from Sandra Robacha.
And a green light. Nazane Kaluma of Latvia, second in the Nations Cup. A great result for her. 16th in Winterberg, 21st in Park City.
Track is clear to start 3 for Zane Kaluma.
Agonizing moments there. Head down. Get the breathing right. Get the focus right. Get yourself centered. And the mind on the job. And that's what Kaluma has done here. She's just outside that start time of Robacha. Let's get the sense. Robacha's run might end up looking pretty good. But here goes Kaluma.
That's a good line into 10. A little messy up top for Kaluma. Just a little tap before 11. See that high line into 12, just skidding sideways into 13, but deals with it really well, but just going to tap down. Those are those chicanes we're talking about. And if you're on the wrong line there, so difficult to get it back. Early to 18 as well, and now gets it back for the finish curve.
So interesting though, Mark, to watch that high line that she took into the chicane, and it's so hard if you go into the chicane in even a slightly poor position to get that right. Can't really put it right, can you?
You really can't. It's such a critical and unique part of this track. We saw, this is that through the chicanes, you just saw she had that direction to the right and just clips that chicane. And just see how the track is raised on the other side. And again, she handled it incredibly well though, because it put her in quite nicely into 17. But that causes a lot of damage to the clock, as you can see with Kaluma going into 4th place.
Now, many people think Emily Fischnaller might be the one today. Winner of the Nations Cup. 8th here back in 2023, the last time we were here with the World Cup. 2nd after the first run in Park City, then she faded. She was 19th in the 2nd run, made a big mistake. If she stays mistake-free here, what can Emily Fischnaller do? Surely she can go close. She's already in the green, nearly 0.02 of a second better than Rabatcha at the start.
Yes, Emily's so good on this track. All the home athletes, that 6-7 combination especially, they build so much time at the top of the track. Little mistake into 11, but just keeps her calm. You see, doesn't dab the feet. And this is a beautiful labyrinth from Emily Fischnaller.
You can just see the difference, can't you? The smoothness, the calmness, the quietness on that sled. She stays in the green here, and look at the speed now from Fischnaller. Wow, she means business. Nearly 4/10 better than Rabatcha. And she was over 3/10 better than everyone else. She knows just how good that was.
This is out of Shady. You see, she just resists the temptation to drop the feet, just gives him a little tap, gets the sled back online. That's when her heart was probably in her mouth, thinking, what have I done? But she dealt with all that home field advantage. Means Emily dealt with that like the professional she is. Great, great opening shot from Fischnaller. It's a red light. That means she has to have some of the equipment controlled, but she won't mind that after that run.
And as Mark tells us every week, a red light is not as good as a green light, but it's not as bad as a blue light. Dorothea Schwarz, she's having quite a season. 3rd in Winterberg behind Brock and Frabel, then 4th in Park City. The quiet achiever so far in this World Cup season. What can Dorothea Schwarz do? She's up against a very, very tough run from Fischnaller, who wasn't perfect. We know that because we saw that tap, but was very, very good. And already Schwarz is inside Rabatcha, but it's outside Fischnaller here as we come through to this latest check. And let's look, 0.02 of a second, or 0.2 of a second rather, outside Fischnaller. Goodness me, Fischnaller really flew.
She really did. Schwarz hadn't had a lot of runs on this track, but put together a great labyrinth there. Her 12-13 combination especially, one of the best we've seen. And quite rightly into 2nd place. I mean, taking down that time from Emily Fischnaller would have been difficult. Dorothea Schwarz, a couple of mistakes in the top of the track as well, but that's put her in a really good position.
And to put this into context, Mark, and I hate asking you difficult questions on air without having primed you, but you'd be surprised if Fischnaller's not in the top 3 after this first run with that time. 5 certainly, you'd think, wouldn't you? I know it's hard to predict, but when you look where Schwarz is, for example, in relation to her, you'd be surprised if 5 were better than that time.
Absolutely. If I were a gambling man, I think that would be a worthwhile bet.
See how he dealt with that? Here's our Park City winner, the mighty Summer Britcher. Doubles partner of Emily Fischnaller, training base right here in Lake Placid, knows this place like the back of the hand. Can she build on that success in Utah and bring it here to New York State? Summer Britcher to try and back up that special weekend in Park City. A slow start, but now let's see if all of that experience and technical nous can get her close here to her teammate Fishnala. She's made up a little bit of time here, but still behind Fishnala.
Down the Devil's Highway, Britcher just put together a great combination, and it's showing in the clock now, just back by 0.06 of a second, and that's a good 14. Straight shot through the chicanes to curve 17.
Through curve 17 she goes, then heads down the bottom part of this course. Great line there, and just outside the time of Fishnala, but Britcher has put herself into a good position here. That Fishnala time still looks good. A smile from Summer. She's right in this race as well.
Great top section from Summer. You see her pressing the position through Shady. And a good exit from Shady to 11. That exit from Shady to 11 is so important because it sets the tone for that labyrinth. And what a great shot that is. You can just see her taking her leg off the Kufan to balance the sled and just gently pushing it in to curve 17. And it's her mum's birthday. Happy birthday, Mrs. Britcher.
Nicely done as well. She knew where the camera was. Barbara Almayer, there's a pro. 14th in Winterberg, 2 places better in Park City. A police officer from Aldrans in Tyrol. Had some good results. 22 last week, Almayer, so a really good youth career. Trying to translate that into senior success. Could this be the week? See, she looked for that right-hand side, top of the course, the right line to take. Hasn't gone as fast as Fishnala, but I'm not sure too many will. Where's Almayer gonna place herself as she heads down the Devil's Highway? Just outside the time of Fishnala, just over 0.2 of a second behind.
Be interesting to see how this 12-13 is. Looks like she'll go early, but she manages to keep it off that right wall. Now this chicane shot, again, not a straight shot, sends her a little late to 17, but deals with it well.
She's losing time here, Almayer. Went a little bit high there, lost a bit of speed going into the finish. Half a second behind fifth, she'll be disappointed with that.
You know, it's incredible the depth in this Austrian team. Christian Eigentler, the head coach of Austria, looks on. What a coaching team that is. Hackel, Eigentler, many, many more. But this is that high exit from 12, but you see she kept her cool. And that's so important in that section to just, if you do hit early to 13, just to absorb it, and generally you'll come out okay.
Now, fascinating athlete to come next, because it's Ashley Farquharson. That big smile, 3rd in Park City. She's already seen Fishnala set a really good time. Britcher has gone well too. What can Farquharson do here?
Track is clear to start 3 for Ashley Farquharson of Team USA.
So much strength and power at the top of the course for Farquharson. That looks like a really good start from her. In the red at the moment, but we know how good Fishnala was pretty much all the way through. Look at this though, Farquharson now in the green, inside the time of Fishnala. This is looking like an excellent run so far.
12-13 works out well as well. Let's see 14. This is going to be critical because she's carrying so much speed. Just bounces in off that chicane. It's not going to cost her much, but she's only got 5/10 to play with.
Little bit high there, wasn't she? She comes round this final bend. It's going to be mighty close. She's just outside. That little error. 19 just cost Farquharson. She's still right in there, but she could so easily be leading.
This is so tight between the US athletes. As we know, always so good on this track. It's a great shot where you can see her foot just steering, turning in. A little bit late to 11, but dealt with it well, as you would expect on our home track. And this, hopefully we see how the sled interacts with that chicane, just gently pushing her back. But yeah, I think you're right, Dave, that early entrance, or that transition 18-19, probably cost her those 11 thousandths, but she knows that she can make that up on the next run, I'm sure.
I must apologize as well to her and her family, because I, force of habit, pronounce her surname in a sort of English public school way. Farquharson, and of course it's Farquharson. I'll get there, Ashley, apologies. Anna Bereiter of Germany. 4th in Winterberg, she was then 11th in Park City, top 10 in that Olympic test event as well. The sports soldier from Bischofwiesen, 7th here in 2023. Bereiter, when she gets it all right, can be very, very capable. Already just outside the time of Fischnaller, who's still leading just from Farquharson, with Britscher in 3rd.
Lots of snow collecting in the track at the moment. That's going to affect these sliders as we go down the order. Very late to 12, skids into 13, but gets it back together for 14.
Even though they're sweeping it and blowing it and brushing it, you would feel that the athletes who have the earlier starts have the advantage. Of course, we'll see that develop throughout the course of this, but Bereiter is 6th at the moment. Only Almayer and Nash and Olisic and Kaluma slower than her. Fischnaller leads the way by a tiny margin from Farquharson.
This is that shot of 12. Now, most of these mistakes in 12, they start in curve 11, where you don't get pushed across to 12. So you go in late and you go high. Or you go too early, you get knocked away, and then the G-force pushes you high on the exit. But most of these things in the labyrinth, they start a couple of curves before.
So just a quick recap here as we're preparing for the next sleds. Emily Fischnaller.
Hear the announcement.
Summer Pritchard, Team USA sitting under the
just doing what we said. The 10 athletes have gone, so they're just doing what they do down the course, clearing away those little drifts that can
track is now clear to start 3 for Verena Hoffer.
Start to develop as described by Mark. Verena Hoffer, one of the biggest smiles in Park City. Great success in that team relay, 2nd in the women's singles. She has every chance here, showing great form at the start of this season. Hoffer, you can see her looking to the right-hand side of that start ramp, trying to get herself into position. She's 0.08 of a second outside Emily Fischnaller, a little bit high there. Now she heads down the Devil's Highway, Hoffer. Now she's into the red in comparison with that time of Fischnaller, but only just here.
Yeah, not dropping much, just 19 thousandths. Let's see how this classic transition there straightens the sled up into 13. With 14, she's going to keep calm here, and she does. She pushes it into 17.
Love the elegance about the way that she goes about her business. Just a little skid there from Hoffer. She's going to be outside the time of Fischnaller. She's going to be in 5th at this point. 11 athletes have gone now. Round of applause from the mighty Zergler. But Hoffer, well, is going to have to go rather better in the 2nd run here.
Yeah, we're in a position as well where these athletes, bit of a wonky start there. You saw she pulled to the left, had to get the sled over to the right. And this was that curve 11, just going on a little early, but dealt with it well through that labyrinth, through 12-13. But yeah, I think we're just seeing this home field advantage from the US athletes, knowing those little tricks, those little idiosyncrasies down the track that are almost invisible to the naked eye, but they know where they are.
And when it's a sport that's timed to 1,000th of a second, every idiosyncrasy counts. Hannah Prock, the Winterberg winner, 5th in Park City. Already a 2-time Olympian. Could she peak and then peak again? She's our World Cup leader at the moment, Hannah Prock. She'd love to keep hold of that bib. Let's see how she started here. 11th fastest start, not the beginning that she would have wanted here, Hannah Prock. A little bit bumpy there on the way down. The snow looks to have got a little bit stronger as well. The conditions difficult now for these athletes.
They really are. Affects your vision where it comes into the track. See, she just straightens it up going into 13. Very close to the right wall. Keeps her calm, gets through to 17. But Prock having to find something through these bottom curves. But like I say, this finish curve goes uphill. So that slows down as well. And Prock into 7th. Half a second back almost off Fishnala. Tough day for Hannah Prock down the track. No big mistakes. As we say, those little details just adding up down the track. And probably the snow building in the track, as you can see with that shot. As she drives straight through that snowdrift and here into another snowdrift.
Some big names to come still. Apayoda next. Then Schulte, Taubitz, Marg, Frabel.
Yeah, did you see that? She hit a rock in the track or something. You saw a spark come off her steel. So the coaches are going to be getting that sled back in the truck to try and get those steels back in top condition.
So only 20 of these athletes will make it for the second final round, reverse order by rank. So as we get deeper into the second heat, we'll be able to point that out.
Loving the guy in the PA. He's got a really good sort of deep voice and sincerity about it.
Through the field.
Track is clear to start 3 for Candia Apperhold of Latvia.
Nicely timed as well. 9th in Winterberg, Candia, 10th in Park City. Away she goes, the spikes on those gloves give her the purchase for that start to try and settle into position as quickly as you can. Just over 300ths of a second outside Emily Fishnala, who still leads from Ashley Farquharson from Summerbridge. At the moment, it's a USA 1-2-3. Apayoda looking for a good run to put Latvia in that top 5 if she can.
Yeah, it's a good top section from Apayoda. Straightens it up into 13 as well. She's just back by 1.5 tenths. Oh, that's a nice exit as well from 14. Just gets pushed in early to 17.
Dropping a little bit of time. That looked a bit ragged as she heads round into that final curve. And 5th for Apayoda. That's a really good run given where she was. She's ahead of Hofer and Prock and Bereiter. She'll be happy with that, Candia.
Yeah, definitely a good position to attack from for run number 2. See, very high in the entrance to the finish curve. That's 17, 18, 19 transition, that curve 18. It's so short and it comes so quickly that to get the perfect transition from 18 to 19 is one of the more underrated areas on the tracks. But those that know that that can cost you so much time down in that bottom section.
Lisa Schulte, 5th in Winterberg, the Austrian, 9th in Park City. She was 3rd in that Olympic test event, remember. Won the mixed singles in Winterberg with the mighty Jonas Müller. Just turned 25. 2024 gold in the World Championships. Very, very good. 5th here in 2023, so has form at the track. Into position nice and early there. Looked a smooth start that from Lisa. Let's see how quick it was. Just outside Fishnala, in fact, well outside. The 11th fastest, and you can hear that wind getting up. You could feel the weather all around this Lake Placid course. It's so dramatic. And Schulte just over 500ths outside Fishnala here.
Yeah, Schulte losing a bit of time in the top. Not a great start and still losing some time, back by 700ths. Manages to negotiate those tricky chicanes. 17 looks good, but something needs to happen in the bottom of the track. Much better curve, finish curve through the finish line into 3rd place. Schulte putting on the afterburners down that bottom section of the track. Great sliding.
Yeah, you said something needed to happen, and it did happen. So she breaks up that USA top 3, Britscher down to 4. And the funny thing is, Mark, you're looking at those splits and thinking, wow, she's over a 10th behind. She's going to be nowhere here, because normally you'd feel that was the case. But Fischnaller was so quick that even over a 10th behind had her in 3rd. Fischnaller's time is going to take some catching here as this course slows up a bit. Here's one of those who could overhaul it, though. Taubitz, 2nd here in 2023. In terms of the singles, disappointing so far. 12th in Winterberg, 8th in Park City. This, remember, the very best in the world, as that bib tells you.
Track is clear to start 3 for Julia Taubitz of Germany.
Here goes Julia Taubitz then. Could today be the day she ignites her season? Banging out that rhythm on the ice. It's a little bit ragged in that opening turn, and 9,000ths behind Fischnaller, so a useful start from Taubitz, and we know how technically good she is to set up that speed down at the bottom of the track. Taubitz level in terms of time with Fischnaller. This so far is a really good run from Taubitz, and now she's into the green mark.
Taubitz starting to build, just bumps onto 13. How much will that cost her? 13 thousandths. And it's put her into the red, that little bump onto 13. 6 thousandths of a second to play with.
Needs to be quick here. We know Fischnaller was. Can Taubitz fly as well? It's going to be tight. 3rd, still behind both Fischnaller and Farquharson, but every chance going into that 2nd run.
That 12-13 transition, so tough for these athletes. Says Taubitz on the start. As you said, she had a little bit of a choppy start curve. You see the sled just bouncing to the left there. But this is what cost Taubitz. Just dropping out, bumping on early. And sled probably skidding slightly through that curve, which is like putting the brakes on. But still, what a place to attack from for Taubitz now.
And given how she's gone so far this season, that feels more like her. Natalie Marg, 5th in that Olympic test event. And I know 1 or 2 people who feel she could go really well for Switzerland in Milan Cortina in February. 6th here in 2023 and 7th in both races so far.
Start 3 for Natalie Marg of Switzerland.
It's today the day Natalie puts everything together. Feels like she hasn't been far off doing that. Again, she looked a little bit bumpy at the start. It's only 12th fastest, so she's given herself a lot to do here. Natalie Marg, Devil's Highway time for her. She negotiates that, but now she can't really afford any more mistakes.
Such a natural, relaxed slider, Natalie Marg. But that time losing in the top, a little skid into 12 as well, as she tried to correct the line. She's only a 10th back. Marg does what she needs to do down that straightaway as well. So she's putting together a good bottom section. This is where it's critical, and she hits it just right into the finish curve. Marg into 6th, not bad at all.
Well, you certainly say not bad after the start.
Yeah, absolutely, and that mistake through the labyrinth as well, between 11 and 12. See the sled just skidding in there as well. Actually gave her quite a nice exit of 12, but not, unfortunately, not at the expense of a skid. And there we see that inch-perfect finish curve, one of the best we've seen. Really nice from Marg through the bottom section.
Halfway through heat number 1.
Frabel, another of the big contenders to go next, the powerful German.
Spectators standing on the wall, standing on railings, leaning over, trying to touch the ice. Just for your safety, we ask.
Love the announcement.
Thank you.
Don't lean over the railings and touch the ice. I mean, why'd you have to be told that? 2nd in Winterberg. 6th in Park City. Merle Frabel.
Track is clear.
Big challenger here. She won that Olympic test event. She'll be one of the favourites for gold in Italy early next year. What about Frabel's start then? 9 thousandths outside Fishnala. Frabel meaning business and looking really smooth down here so far. Picking up pace at the top of the course. She looks good, but 300ths, nearly 400ths outside Fishnala.
Yeah, Frabel putting together a good Devil's Highway and then through the labyrinth as well. So she's doing what she needs to do here. That start from Frabel looked good on the clock, but I feel she lost something through 5, 6, 7. And this is a tricky combination. Gets it right, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And it is into 4th for Frabel, but just a 10th back. This is going to be so tight on run number 2.
Yeah, it might not be enough to lead, but it's enough to be in position, isn't it? And now Britscher is down to 6th. Fishnala and Farquharson for the USA 1st and 2nd. Then Taubitz, Frabel, Schulte, Britscher. Super consistent Marg in 7th.
Dealt with that late entrance to 12 really well. You see it just getting thrown up there. So 17, 18, and that 18, 19 transition looked like she had messed it up, but managed to save it with quick body movement and just real experience.
Tove Kahala did not finish in Park City. Had that crash on the 2nd run, 13th in Vinterberg, the Swede. We're back now into the Nations Cup qualifiers. She was 6th in that Nations Cup earlier on today. Doesn't necessarily mean that the top 5 stays where it is now, but there's more chance of that. You'd feel that Fishnala and Farquharson and Taubitz and Frabel and Schulte are likely to be the top 5, but anything can happen. Here's Kahala. She's very, very capable. If she gets everything right here. 16th fastest start, though, from Tove Kahala is a disappointing beginning. Looked a little bit high there. And into the Devil's Highway she goes. She nearly lost control there, but recovers the position well.
Well, that was scary from Tove there through the Devil's Highway. You've got to get yourself set up right for Shady, but putting together a good labyrinth here as well. Stretching out that right chicane, just managing to negotiate that. And 17 good.
Yeah, she's not going to be challenging Fishnala's time, but her aim will be top 20. 18th as things stand right now. Slowest run we've seen. Nearly a second slower than our leader Fishnala, and that is disappointing for Tove.
This was that transition from 6 to 7. So important to get that right. You see it just drops her out and she skids. That snow, when it collects under the steels of the sled, can make the sled really unstable. Kind of breaks away from the sled. But what you know with Tove is you'll get nothing but 100% commitment and some of the best body position on the circuit.
So here's Ember Susko. Starting to be slightly disappointed to have been 7th in the Nations Cup. But of course, with the sport of margins, she was 10th in Vinterberg, 14th in Park City. The 20-year-old Canadian who's learning all the time. She was 14th at that Olympic test event. She is seriously good, but it will be, over the course of this season, about consistency for Ember Susko. You can see her making that little adjustment with the foot on the start ramp, the 16th fastest start there. Struggling a bit with this start now, these athletes. Susko, the latest to be slow down that start ramp.
Ember, though, doing a really good job staying out of the snow on the sides, keeping the sled in the middle. It's one of those tactics in a snow race that if you can do it, it can make a big difference. Late to 12, but deals with it, just softens up the body on the exit, manages to absorb the mistake. And A little wobble into 17.
Yeah, just a little touch, wasn't there, on that right wall. Now she comes round that final turn, Susko. 40 for her might be enough to be in that second run.
Yeah, looking at Ember's Nations Cup, she slid so well in that Nations Cup. It was so tight amongst the top 10. This little wobble you see, you go up onto that chicane, and the direction it gives you is so abrupt to the left-hand side. And remember, the sled's not under any pressure there. There's no G-force pushing down on the sled. So it's really difficult to correct the sled and get it back on the line you want.
That magic number, we'll see how the German slider, Anke Janicki, does in her
Anke
next
Janicki
run coming up.
To come next.
Track is clear to start 3 for Anke Janicki.
Our announcer is brutalizing some of these German names. Here's Anke Janicki anyway. 6th in Winterberg. 20 years of age. So talented. More than capable of putting something special together here. But again, another slow start. Just a sense maybe that the weather is getting to the track enough to slow some of these athletes up. These late starters just struggling a bit at the moment.
Yeah, choppy through the Devil's Highway. Remember, some of these young athletes, a little bit late into 11 there as well. Let's see how she deals with this transition. Keeps it low in 12. That's what you've got to do when you mess up the entrance. But if you see that spark again coming out of the track, there's some concrete there or something that's going to affect the stills.
Whoa!
And she's going to crash into the finish curve. And she's off the sled. The DNF for Janicki. So close to holding on. But we'll see that in a second.
Well, the first concern is that she's okay and she looks okay. But that's the end of her weekend. Here's the error. Here's how it happened, Mark.
See that high exit off 18. You go late into 18. There's no curve. You just run out of curve. I've done that myself, and it happens very quickly. As I say, it's a place on the track that doesn't get the attention sometimes it deserves. That 18-19 transition. She gave a good account of herself up till then. See, these junior athletes, Dave, they don't get a lot of junior races here in Lake Placid. So when they make the step up to seniors and they're doing 5-6 training runs maximum, it's really tough for them to figure out the little tricks and these strange little quirks that a track like Lake Placid has.
Love seeing those dramatic pictures of how the track lit up, stands out against the night sky. It's fantastic. There they are down by the finish. I must say, when we saw the slow motion of Janicki's crash there, and you saw the position of her right leg, I'm delighted that she's okay, because that was nasty. An awful lot of weight being put on that right leg as she came off and slid down the track. She'll be bruised, but she's okay.
2-minute warning.
There's just going to be a delay here, so Alina Botta is waiting. Top 10 in Winterberg. As if it wasn't hard enough having these little delays. They've all got their processes, but it's hard when you're expecting to go at a certain time and your process gets slowed up.
It really is, and that 2-minute warning takes an age, especially when it's snowing. You're literally watching the snow fall into the track, slowing it down. And very frustrating for the athlete.
Off comes the coat. Remember, I asked a fighter once all about his pre-fight routine, and he said, I don't have one. You know why? Because routines can be broken, and if you're settled into a routine and then that routine goes away because of something like this, it can really throw you. Makes a lot of sense, but everyone does things in a different way. She looks okay, nice and calm and settled. Asked for help from elsewhere. As I said, 8th in Winterberg, 17th in Park City. 9th in the Nations Cup, which for her is slightly disappointing. Very, very likable athlete, Alina.
Track is clear. 2, start 3 for Alina Bota of Latvia.
How much has it slowed up? How difficult is it going to be? Bota's turn in Lake Placid. Just 2 thousandths outside Fishneller's time. Great start this from Bota, little high there. But as she heads into the Devil's Highway, Bota going really well at the top of the course. What's the next split? She's lost a little bit of time, just under 800ths behind, but this is a great run from Alina Bota so far.
I do wonder if that cold wind blowing up the track is actually making the ice harder. Here we go, 14. Clips that chicane as well, but gets through it well. Good labyrinth further on from Bota as well. This is exactly where Jenica crashed. But Bota getting round nicely.
For the second and final run.
Bota 10th. More than good enough to take her into the second run. Didn't quite build on that start as she would have liked, but still very good from Alina Bota, given the conditions, given her start position.
Saw that little wobbly settle as she got in the sled, and you could see actually when she was paddling down the ramp, the snow coming off of the ramp as well. This is that area where the athletes have been hitting something in the track that's making the steel spark. Looks like the track crew here, who are an incredibly hard-working bunch, have managed to get that rock or whatever it was out of the track.
Well, we watched the US athletes go really well. Here's the 4th of them, Emma Eriksson at the moment. Fishnaller leads, Farquharson second, Britcher 6th. A turn with Emma Eriksson, whose home track is Park City, but second in the Junior Nationals in Lake Placid last year behind Sophia Gordon. Knows the track, knows every inch of it. 17th fastest though on that start ramp, so work to do here for Emma Eriksson. The time of her teammate Emily Fishnaller is the one that she's chasing right now, and she's over 1/10 of a second behind it. Can she hold things together in this middle section to set up a fast bottom of the track?
Well, doing everything right now. That beautiful 11-12 transition, going nice and early to 12, and this is into 17. Now this is where she really needs to stretch out, find something in the bottom of the track.
Is it there for Eriksson? She made up any time, she hasn't, and she's down in 18th. And still with 8 to go. You'd have to feel she's vulnerable, faster than only 3.
He said that the Americans are so good on this track. And you say, yes, the time didn't quite match the beauty of that run, but what a lovely run from Eriksson. There were small mistakes up top. Those would have cost her. But in those critical sections through 11, 12, 13, 14 to 17, Eriksson looking every inch the home athlete.
Margita Sirsnina of Latvia didn't finish in Park City, crashed on the first run. 11th in the Nations Cup here, so confidence already rebuilt. The target really has to be sort of 16, 17, where Almayer and Nash are, to guarantee yourself top 20 to get into that second run. A reminder of how it works. 30 athletes go in the first run, then whittled down to 20 in reverse order for the second run. This is Sirsnina. Where's she with regard to Fishnaller's time? She's over 2/10 outside it at the moment, Mark.
Bumping early onto 11. This is where she's got to be absolutely inch perfect. She gets it back. Very late entrance to Shady as well. Just clipping that chicane. She's airborne going into 17.
She did so well to retrieve that. It cost her time, and again she struggles there. More time gone and more again than 22nd, and Sirsnina at the bottom of this course to forget there, and a smile and a shake of the head tells you everything you need to know.
This is it. You see, she gets that right direction, just clips that tiny chicane. Now, it doesn't look like much, but if you catch a little bit of ball as well, it shoots you aggressively towards the left side. And they're a good foot in the air and doing a great job getting the sled back under control, Nina.
Track is clear to start 3 for Nina Zugler of Italy.
Nina Zugler, daughter, man we've already seen today, the legendary Armin Zugler. 16th in Park City. Improving all the time. Turns 25 during those winter games in February. 22nd here in terms of her start time, though. Slightly disappointing from Zugler, and a mistake there as well.
Yeah, you fall out of those top curves. It costs a lot. It's so flat up there. This is the exit of Shady. That's a good 11 in. And 12 looks good as well. She's putting together a really nice labyrinth here, but 14 to 17 is where it's been tricky, and just perfect down the middle out of 14 to 17.
She's negotiating the bottom part of the course really well here, Zugler. She might have just pushed herself into that top 20. She has 17th. Gives her every chance of making it through to the second run, Zugler.
This was that entrance into Shady. So she had those problems in through the Devil's Highway. When that happens, Shady's a big curve, so you want it to be right as you're going in, because there's a lot of space to mess up in that curve. Zugler with that beautiful 14 to 17. It'd be nice to see that again, because that's as good as we've seen it done all day from Nina Zugler. I must say it's quite nice to see Zugler, Proc and Hatton on the start list together as well.
Love it. Well guided. Here's Veronica Ravenna, Whistler-based Argentine from Buenos Aires, chocolate maker, amongst other things, extremely good slider, qualifying again through the Nations Cup, 13th. 25th, though, in terms of her start here, so already a lot of work for her to do, and she was a little bit bumpy there as well.
Yeah, Veronica, one of the athletes that missed the Wintersport World Cup, came out here for a spot of extra training. She made that big mistake in the start curve, but you can see by this labyrinth, that patience, that timing that we know Veronica's got. Just coming to the fore through the fast parts of the course.
Here she comes then, Ravenna. Where's she going to finish? Outside the 20. So she will not be sliding again. But getting into the 30 by the Nations Cup is her challenge at the moment.
And when you think from such a small nation, you know, a one-person team, she's such a natural slider. She's got such great feeling on the sled. I coached her in the 2016 Youth Olympics, and she's always been so impressive considering the resources that Argentina have got.
Yeah, she was 7th there, wasn't she, at Lillehammer? Moved to Canada, and she was 6th. But yeah, Buenos Aires, how many people in Buenos Aires know what the luge is? Not many, I would have thought, in terms of percentages now. Here's Trinity Ellis, 14th in the Nations Cup. She was 15th in Winterberg and 18th in Park City, so she'll be aiming for top 20, aiming for the second run, and she believes she's got every chance. Her target right now is Daria Oleszczyk, the neutral athlete. Looks a good line that from the start for Trinity. 19th at the moment in terms of that start. Fischnaller still leads, and surely Fischnaller is going to be going last in that second run. Ellis just a little bit high there, but it's a good run she's putting together here. Just under 2/10 outside Fischnaller's time at the moment.
Yes, Trinity Just going a little high in the exit of 12, but you know that Trinity Ellis on her day is easily a top 10 slider. Such a relaxed slider, very calm under pressure. Late into 18 though, similar to Janecki, but she deals with it well.
It's cost her a little bit of time. She was up sort of 13th, 14th, and ends in 19th. 4 sliders to go, so Trinity is still vulnerable here.
The foot just popping off the coupe in there. This was that 12-13 transition. You see she just relaxes, absorbs the bump, keeps the sled going where she wanted it to. Such good Canadian support here in Lake Placid, and the Canadians obviously had a lot of training here as well.
So, Buzătoiu of Romania, and 3 to follow her. Olesic misses out. It's now Emma Eriksson in 20th. So the USA contingent will be nervous. Buzătoiu went well in those mixed singles in Winterberg with Valentin Cretu. She made a bit of a mess of that first turn though. Lost a bit of speed there, Buzătoiu. Now she settles herself, but wonder what that will have cost her here. We look at that Fishnell time, but we're more concerned really about the split and how far she is outside. Nearly 3/10 already.
Very low line round Shady, just bumps before 11. Puts her in nicely to 12, but skidding through the labyrinth here, Buzătoiu. So this is going to be critical for her down the chicanes. Saw she was heading to the right. She arrested that as quickly as she could. Great correction from Buzătoiu.
She may have just picked up speed down the bottom part of the course. She's well outside Fishnell. She's well outside the top 20. Still Eriksson holding on. 3 athletes to go. 2 Ukrainians and then you know who.
Yeah, Buzătoiu, you see that low line into curve 10, into Shady. That gives you lots of height on the exit, and when that happens, it pushes you so early to that right wall before 11. As we said earlier, that curve 11, it's that curve that sets the tone for the next 4 curves. It's such a critical curve to get right, that transition from Shady to 11.
So it'll be Tunitska, Smaha, then Hatton.
Track is clear. 2, start 3.
Emma Eriksson, 20th at the moment. She is 7/10, just over, outside Fishnell's time. If you're interested in looking at these splits and seeing what the athletes are aiming at, anything inside 7/10 plus on that clock will get you in the top 20, because that's what this is all about now. Tunitska, 20th in Park City. She was just outside in Winterberg. She's always there or thereabouts, just like her teammate Smaha. What sort of time can Juliana put up here? Just over 2/10 outside, but the problem is that loss of time is often compounded down the course.
Very late to 12, almost to the roof on the exit. Manages to save it somehow. And just bumping that chicane, manages to get it into 17, but she's 7/10 back.
Well, she's exactly the length of time that Eriksson was back, but surely Tunitska is going to lose time, is she yet? It always felt that way. Too many mistakes. 2 athletes to go now. Only Olena Smaha and Kaya Hatton can deny Emma Eriksson the second run now.
This is that late entrance to 12. You see she's almost up to the roof there. Gets the shoulders back on the exit. That stabilizes the sled and gets away with it. Here we see that right-hand chicane as well. But I thought she dealt with this incredibly well, considering. Just pushing her a little bit late, but she just brings it back across to 17. But the damage was done from that high exit line from 12. Such a likable slider, though, and as you say, always there or thereabouts.
So, here goes Smaha. 18th in the women's singles in Winterberg, 24th in Park City. Olena makes Makes an adjustment there, gets into position. Didn't look as smooth as she might have done at the top of the course. Let's see how that's affected her time in this top part of the course as she goes through the Devil's Highway. So with 2/10 outside, Fischnaller.
Going late into 11. How's this going to affect her 12? She's late into 12 as well. And she just taps it before 13. Keeps her calm though. It's a better result than her teammate.
Smooth, Smarhart needs to find a good line here to pick up time if she can down the bottom of the course, but it's not going to be enough. Over a second outside. So Emma Eriksson is 20th. And only the daughter of my co-commentator can deny her. Kaya Hatton to go next. It's nervous dad time, Mark.
It is indeed. Smarhart with a really solid finish curve there. See, that's a good line through finish here. Flat, and gave her a wonderful exit towards the finish line.
Well, as has become traditional, I'm going to let you do this. Kaya Hatton with a big smile, final moments of focus. Done brilliantly to get into this 30. Could she make the 20? What can I say? But over to Dad.
Good start from Kaya. She looks psyched up on the start there. Good smooth start curve as well. Kaya Hatton setting the tone for her run there from the very fast Whistler track in Canada. It's where she learned her skills. And down the Devil's Highway, smooth into shady. This is a good top section. Just a little skid into 11. This is where she's been working hard. In 12-13, again in 13 to 14. This will be critical. She just needs to keep her calm into 17, and she does. Just 8/10 back for Hatton. 18 to 19, a little high on the exit, but deals with it beautifully. Kaya Hatton crossing the finish line into 29th position, 1.4 seconds back. But in the first World Cup she's qualified for from a Nations Cup, she can be thoroughly proud of herself. It was a lovely top section. This was where some of the damage was done, just catching that chicane. But look at this correction. Kaya Hatton, calmness under pressure from a slightly biased dad.
There's a new text message alert, Kaya. Great stuff from Kaya, and a big smile from her. And of course, she's got so much time in front of her to learn. She won't make the top 20 here, but to qualify for a World Cup race is no mean feat. Well, we thought Fischnaller might lead, didn't we, after she went down? And she does have the lead from Farquharson. Taubitz looks a big threat. I think the Americans, when you see Taubitz and Frabel, third and fourth, particularly Taubitz, who doesn't have much time to make up. The three of those, though, had 1/10 of a second over Frabel. And there's the rest of our qualifiers. Emma Eriksson, last amongst them. Hannah Prock, our winner in Winterberg, is as low as 13th. Kaya, 29th. Anke Jenicke, the one who did not finish. Daria Olesik, the neutral athlete, the unlucky one who's just outside the top 20. So that was a story of our first run from these women's singles. And of course, as they try and get the course ready here, we will take a short break, allow them to do that, and then we will be back in about half an hour's time for the second run. We shall see you there. It's going to be a thriller, this. The top three well clear, but can anybody make their mark on them? Let's find out. See you in about half an hour's time. Don't go anywhere.
15-minute warning. It's a 15-minute warning to our first competitor sleds of run number 2. 15-minute warning.
You've heard Franklin, 15 minutes. He's pulling some of the 2 forwarders. Our first sled will be Erickson from the United States of America. Congratulations to Erickson for their 20 spot. Great job, John. And our first Erickson of Canada International Circuit. Steve, you're saying
cleared in start 3 for our first of 2 touring. Sledding from start 3. Again, for forerunners, we don't get downtime, we don't get games, we're just here to get some extra runs. That's the ice, tapping the timing equipment. That's the timer, honestly, because we can I make mistakes.
Just a
Blue
reminder,
shade two,
please
now
don't
coming down.
And welcome back to Lake Placid. Second run of our women's singles, although I must tell you, as these pictures will indicate, the snow is falling heavier and heavier in Lake Placid. And what's happening right now is that the forerunner is heading down the course, and they're going to check whether it's affecting the timing eyes and whether it's affecting the course in general. More on that to come, but our top 3 right now looks like this. The dangerous Julia Taubitz back to form in 3rd. USA 1 and 2. First, Ashley Farquharson. It was a tremendous first run. Is today her day? But Emily Fischnaller is our leader going into the second run. I wonder what Mark Hatton thinks of all of this. Firstly, the conditions. Secondly, our likely winner. What do you reckon?
Well, the temperatures are looking good for a consistent track. But yes, I mean, that run from Emily was just lightning, wasn't it? I mean, the Americans are always so at home in Placid. They just know all of the little touches that you need to turn a great run into an absolutely unbeatable run. Now, whether this is unbeatable, we'll see. They're breathing down her neck, but we know with Emily that she can go so much faster on this track, as can Ashley. And then Merla Frabel is within touching distance. It's so close at the top.
It's interesting, there is that notable leap back to Frabel. Let's take a look at this Lake Placid track. 1,130 meters, a vertical drop of 128, which is really significant when you think about it. 16 corners, Devil's Highway into Shady, into Benham's Bend chicane, and around the heart and up to the finish. They start right here. Few of them have made a mess of that start. Then the Devil's Highway. And then they head down. You can see the heart, that heart shape, and up to the finish. Here's our POV for Mark to explain.
This is curve 4, much nicer going into that from men's start than this from women's start. And then 5, 6, 7, really tricky. That's where the home field advantage really comes in. This is Shady, the signature curve, and this sets the tone for this labyrinth section. 11 to 12, 12, 13 here, this transition. We've seen a lot of problems there today, and this is the straightaway out of Benham's Bend into the compression, through those chicanes, and then 17, you reset, but then 18 comes so quickly. We saw Jenica crash there, and then crossing the finish line after that steep uphill finish curve.
Beautifully described as ever by Mark. And explain the forerunner and what they're testing this time, and specifically with the timings, Mark. Can you talk us through that?
Absolutely. We saw some decent-sized snowflakes falling, and what happens is these laser eyes on the track that track the split times. Sometimes when the snowflakes are very large, they can set the timing eyes off. So the forerunner will have checked that there were no big snow drifts, that everything was working, and once they give the thumbs up, then we send the women's singles field down the track.
Well, there is our start list. There's the finish where it's going to be won and lost. You can see the conditions, though. And they're doing a sterling job right now. I do wonder what this means for tomorrow, because they're cramming an awful lot into tomorrow. Obviously, with all of the doubles delayed until then, they'll have forecasts and so on, and I know we're not outside as such with the track, but you've already explained how it can be affected. It's gonna take some doing tomorrow.
It's a packed schedule tomorrow, and we can see how much snow is collected in the outrun there. Now, that's not important, because that's obviously where the athletes are stopping. But where it could also be interesting is out of 14 to 17, the visibility for the athletes.
Yeah. I suppose my only point with tomorrow was, with so much crammed in, you haven't really got any time to play with. Should there be wind and a flurry and so on and so forth. But anyway, all of that's for tomorrow. Great news is we have the second run of our women's singles to look forward to. A potential USA gold. You have to say, that would be the favourite. After Britch's win in Park City, could it be her? Could it be Fishnala, Farquharson here in Lake Placid? It won't be Emma Eriksson, I don't think, but she goes off first, having made this top 20, and it's going to be fascinating to hear what Mark thinks of the condition of the course.
Absolutely deservedly here, Emma Eriksson. The course you can see already after the first sweep, the course starting to fill with snow. You just see it on the inside of the curves. 12-13 from Emma Eriksson. That was a beautiful line, but look at those snow drifts on the right-hand side of the straightaway.
Continues that line. She was a little bit high there, but now around the final curve, of course, she's in the lead. 1:30, 2:16, quicker than she was on the first run, which is always the aim of these athletes.
This is that section where it's just so important to get right, that short section between 12 and 13. You see Emma Eriksson just putting in a little correction, not doing too much work there. She knows the track well and did a great job of it with a less than optimal entrance.
Trinity Ellis was 1/1000th of a second quicker than Emma Eriksson.
Track is clear to start 3.
Not much to play with.
Canada.
And we know that was a good second run from Emma. Time for Trinity. Remember, all of this building towards that fascinating top 5. But here's Trinity Ellis, the Canadian, to go next. Well, she's picked up a little bit of time. Started with 1/1000th of a second, now she's got nearly 200ths of one. See the wind blowing. All the protective sheets around the course, the weather conditions worsening here in Lake Placid.
Trinity from 11 to 12, that's a good line. Just bumps on a little early to 13, but works well. Trinity not used to being down at this end of the result sheet. She's a top 10 slider every day of the week. 18 to 19, good transition from Ellis. She's finding something in the bottom section. Just back into second, 700ths of a second. Good run from Emma Eriksson before the home athlete.
And already Emma's picked up a place, so that must be quite a nice feeling. The other Canadian, Caitlin Nash, I say the other, the second of 3, Caitlin Nash to go next.
And look at that snow blowing into the track. It's absolutely freezing out there. The wind's blowing, and some of the snowdrifts are incredibly large around the sides of the track. That's where, if you get the opportunity to get the sled to go right down the middle of the track and stay away from that snow, you can pick up some more time.
So Caitlin goes next. She was first off in that
Track is clear to start 3
first
for
run.
Caitlin
She was
Nash.
15th in Park City. The Whistler native to go next. Conditions worsening. Never know, there may be a chance for someone to come from a long way back and at least get top 5. It gets worse and worse. And Nash already consolidating that lead over Emma Eriksson here. Good top of the course here. from Caitlin Nash.
Saw that aggression on the start from Caitlin. Learned in the ice house in Calgary, but they've got an indoor start ramp. You can just see the class of Caitlin Nash through here, but just bumping early to 13. Again, a little low round 14 as well, but Nash dealing with it really nicely.
Nice and smooth, isn't it, from Caitlin Nash? A little bit bumpy there again as she heads into our final turn here. She's going to be behind Eriksson. She's going to be behind Ellis. Emma Eriksson. Big smile still leads the way.
Well, that was almost disaster for the Canadian there from 17 to 18. This was the 12-13 transition, but here you see her just keep her calm. Little skid in there, but this transition here going so early to 18, getting bumped late, she dealt with that so well, because that's where we saw Jenica crash. Almost an identical mistake, getting pushed away from the curve. But Caitlin Nash, using all that experience learned in Whistler, to get the sled through the finish line.
Nina Zergler next. Can she be the one to overtake Eriksson, who's already made up a couple of places on this leaderboard? And remember, it matters. Matters in terms of World Cup standings and all sorts. Olympic qualifying. If Eriksson could sneak up into the top 15. Away goes Zergler. You can really visibly see the effect the weather is having now. And in a sport of tiny margins, it's very difficult. She's even lost a little bit of her advantage. She's lost just under 300ths from her advantage there, Zergler, but she's still in the green. She's still okay. Just to lay down as quick a time as she can, and she now drops time on Eriksson. Zergler, though, back in the green here. It's going to be very, very tight between Zergler and Eriksson.
Well, she's stringing together a good labyrinth, but that mistake in the top where she fell out of curve 6 and that choppy Devil's Highway caught her, but she's up by 0.07 of a second into 18.
She's got plenty, hasn't she, here, Zergler? I think Eriksson's run on top of the podium may well be over. It is. Zergler, as you would expect, leads the way. An excellent bottom part of the course from Nina Zergler.
That really was. She really found something in the bottom part of the track. And this is where you see how much snow there is on the ramp. The sleds leaving tracks through the snow. You see that good position through the finish curve. And a very solid bottom section as well from Zergler. Managing to find some time out of nowhere, because through Shady, she was behind, and somewhere through that labyrinth, she found some speed.
Track is clear to start 3 for Barbara Almayer of Austria.
Almayer to go next. Time 2 for her to play with. Zergler at the moment, the Italian, is our leader. Almayer, it's a little bit shaky there as she swept round to the left. You could see the impact that snow is having on the course here. They'll sweep it after Almayer is gone, but she has to deal with this right now.
700s back into Shady, setting herself up for 11. Going a little late to 12, though, just manages to keep it away from going early to 13. And straight into that snowdrift on the right-hand side. That will slow her down, and it has by 1.5 tenths.
Yeah, that's a mistake anyway, but with a snowdrift, it's exacerbated, and Almayer's going to be outside. Almayer down to 4th. So Zergler leads from Eriksson, from Ellis right now. Down to Embasusko. 15 to go. Disappointment there for Almayer.
Yeah, she didn't do too much wrong, but you just see how deep that snow is on that right side of the track. And that just slows the sled down so much in these conditions. There were a couple of mistakes in the top, but really a solid, solid run. And unlucky to be back in 4th for Almayer.
Yeah, she's disappointed with that. Here's Ember.
Is clear to start 3 for Emily Susko.
Over a 10th The second advantage. The target right now is Zergler. Cisco pick out that racing line, looking in front of her and now settling nicely into position and still in the green. A little bit high there, but she corrects it well, Cisco, and she's going well here. Let's look at this next split now, and she's still inside that time of Zergler, nearly 2/10 an advantage. It's a good run this from Ember Cisco.
Ember picking up time down the track here, just falling off 12, but gets away with it. This is that critical section for these athletes through those chicanes, and she does it good, but she's lost almost 1/10 of a second.
Needs to hold on here, Cisco. And she does. And she does. She holds on just enough. Yeah, you see what Zergler's saying. Just over 200ths in the end for Cisco, but it is enough.
Tiny margins in the sport of luge. This is that high exit line at 12, but Cisco, such good feeling in her shoulders. She just relaxed, absorbed the bump down, and got a good line into 13. Deservedly into first place for Canada's Ember Cisco.
Well, to find that out, Carl, you're going to have to wait about another 14 sleds or so.
Next up, Bereiter.
An answer to that question.
A reminder, the USA 1 and 2.
Track is clear to start 3.
That's going to be the climax here. The German Anna Bereiter, 14th after the first run. She looks for that purchase and momentum. She swings to the left here. She's inside Cisco's time. But now is where the hard work really begins here for the German Bereiter through the Devil's Highway. And now she accelerates and remains in the green. Fairly mistake-free so far from Bereiter.
Yeah, she's finding time here, Bereiter. That's a good line into 12 and 13. See, she got that nice early cross from 11 to 12, giving her a good labyrinth. 17 also looking good.
Disappointed after that first run, but she might be making up some time here, Bereiter. And she's in the lead by over half a second. She has made up some time. And she will just apply some pressure to those coming next. Some big names down the list, the likes of Hofer and Proc. Proc coming next.
See, she hits that snowdrift as well. Does well to keep it off. The left wall just keeps it. You can see her just pressing gently with the right leg, just keeping the sled on a straight shot. But Bereiter, that labyrinth, one of the best we've seen. That 11, 12, 13 combination, really good from Bereiter.
The Winterberg winner, Hannah Proc, disappointed to be 13th, 5th in Park City as well. This is not where she wants to be. Our World Cup leader needs to force her way into the top 10 here, at worst. Or else she won't be wearing that bib in Sigulda, I would imagine. Here goes Proc. You can see that adjustment with the left leg. She's already lost time, Proc. 7th fastest start time. Disappointed beginning this from Hannah Proc. Remember, the target is Bereiter after an excellent second run. Fastest run we've seen in this second run so far from Bereiter. Proc, at the moment, is not going to match that.
Hannah Proc losing time the whole way down. She goes hard into the right wall, manages to keep it off the left. 17 gets her composure back together. It's a good 18-19 combination, but it's not going to be enough for Hannah Proc as she crosses the finish line into second place. Back by a quarter of a second from Hannah Bereiter.
I think Bereiter's still angry about her first run.
I think so. She left so much out there. Look at that snow on the ramp. Hannah Proc. See, that's called a hook steer, where the left leg comes underneath the kufen, lifts it up to get a little bit of extra drive. And that finish curve from Proc. But the damage was done through the Devil's Highway with some choppy exits. Again, very unique section. And if they don't have a lot of runs there, it's very difficult to learn those little tricks.
She may well not be our World Cup leader beyond this weekend. Sandra Rabacha next. 12th, 11 to go after this. See the snow coming up there as she got herself going, Rabacha. How can it not affect you, the weather? You might be covered, but the wind is absolutely howling. It's very, very difficult. Rabacha remaining in the green, a little bit high there. She continues to power down the course. Sandra Rabacha here, the Italian.
Rabacha going really late into curve 9 earlier, but got it back together, and the labyrinth is looking good. But how much will that top section have cost her? Incredible aerodynamics from Rabacha, getting everything she can, but it's a quarter of a second. It's going to be too much as she goes into the finish curve.
Surely too much to make up. Surely still behind Bereiter. Yes, she is. Bereiter enjoying this. They know, of course. They know they'll be overhauled. For her, it's about how high can I finish.
Yeah, that battle within the teams for the number 3 German spot is alive and well. We see round Shady. She's just coming a little close to that right wall, but dealt with it really nicely. But that top section into 9 as well. Scary place to be with the big shady curve coming up.
Verena Hofer, second last time, 11th in our first run here.
Track is clear to start three for Verena Hofer of Italy.
Top 10 after this. All the questions will start to be answered, but Hofer will be looking to move significantly up that leaderboard. Every point vital in these big teams. There's that hook steer again from Hofer. She is inside the time of Bereiter, having started with that advantage here, Hofer. Can she consolidate that? Can she build on that here?
Well, it's choppy through the Devil's Highway, and it's back by 13 thousandths of a second. Now, she had a good labyrinth on the first run. Second run, just knocking before 13 into the straightaway.
You see her losing these little bit of moments of time with those little errors, bumped into that right wall, and now the time of Bereiter looms large here for Verena Hofer. She's not going to do it. Second by outside a tenth of a second. Bereiter still leads. Bereiter is the one who will move up this leaderboard, because 10 to go. Bereiter might go from 14th to inside the top 10 here.
To that height in the Exeter 12, that's that going in a little bit too late, and the G-force just jams in the exit, lifts you up and throws you into that right wall. It wants to throw you into that right wall before curve 13.
This is the time to do it. Time to do it.
It's always fun if you put together a good second run, isn't it? And stand there and watch and wonder. Elina Bota now, the Latvian.
Track is clear to start 3 for Elina
A little bit
Bota of Latvia.
sluggish in Nations Cup, enough to qualify, but she made the best of that. Top 10 in that first run. She starts with the advantage over Bereiter. She should maintain, and she does. Just over a tenth of a second, but look at that snow swirling all around. It's not easy for these athletes now.
Putting together a good top section, so this next split will be crucial. She's lost half of her advantage. She goes just a little late to 11, but it's okay. 12 to 13 looking smooth as well, and she's found some time through the labyrinth.
Bota went a little bit wide there. Loses a little bit of that time, still in the green. It's going to be tight. Bota went high, and now she comes around that final turn. Bota, she's lost time. She was too low. She lost speed. You can see it happening. Bereiter will finish in the top 10. And Elina Bota is the latest here to be disappointed.
See her just getting in the sled. There was a little wobble on the start. See it went to the left side. So she went slightly late into that start curve. That's expensive. And then this is a great shot of that chicane. You just see it pushing her across, and she has to correct. You see ice flying off the steels as she corrects through there. And that cost Bereiter, and it cost Botha, and Bereiter still top of the leaderboard.
At worst, Bereiter moves from 14th to 10th.
Track is clear.
Might get better than that. And as Mark has pointed out, the battle replacing that German team, they could only take 3 to the Olympics. You could have the top 10 in the world, it doesn't matter, you can only take 3. Apayoda for Latvia. She should be in there 3, of course. Where's she going to end up here? Stays inside Bereiter with the 5th fastest start time, but as we've seen, that's only part of the battle here. Through the Devil's Highway, Apayoda goes. Looks a little bit less than smooth there, and now it's Costa. 6,000s outside Bereiter.
Yeah, bumping early and skidding into 12, and she's skidding into 13 as well. She's going to have to stabilize this sled through the chicanes, and she does, but surely the damage is done. It is back by 3.5 tenths.
There are lots of mistakes out there, and she's making them. She's going to drop right down, 9th at the moment, and that's going to get a lot worse. And Bereiter, who looks very, very cold, is getting warmer by the moment here. She's going to be 9th at worst now.
This is that skid into 12. You see she manages to stop it, but then it goes the other way as the back goes out into 13. Almost a power slide into the curve. You see the snow and the ice rooster tailing out the back of the sled. Gave her a nice exit of 14, but the damage was done. Back in the labyrinth after a good top section for Apayoda.
Now, Dorothea Schwarz, as you can see, nearly 0.2 of a second. Her advantage over Bereiter. So Schwarz should end this as our leader. 7 to go after Schwarz. Hear that rhythm being beaten out by the coach there as Schwarz loses a little bit of that time already at the top of the course. Goodness me, Bereiter's run was good. And goodness me, these conditions are certainly getting worse as well. Schwarz, though, still inside that time of Bereiter. Is she going to be the one to get it right here?
Shady putting her a little late to 11, but deals with it okay. 12 to 13. It's choppy, but it's enough. She's still got that lead over Bereiter at this point, and it's stabilized at 0.04 of a second.
Schwarz here should be good enough as she comes around that final turn, and she is. She lost a little bit of time, she lost 700s, but she takes over from Bereiter, and she's absolutely delighted with that. 7 to go, and Dorothea Schwarz, after good runs in Winterberg and Park City, does it again here in Lake Placid.
Schwarz can be proud of that run. It's tricky conditions, but there's all that snow and no spritz either, which gives so much more grip to the steel. So it's dry, snowy, tough to keep grip once you make a mistake. Anna Bereiter can now go and get a jacket and warm up. That was an incredible first run from her.
She looked like she needed one. Natalie Marg now. What a consistent season she's having. Not from one of the big teams, of course. There's plenty of help from them, but Swiss athlete out on her own, really.
Track is clear to start 3 for Natalie Marg.
Can Natalie surge up this leaderboard? First American, Summer Bridger, to go after Natalie Marg. We saw the advantage she had. She looks a little bit bumpy there, but she's lost plenty of that advantage. Only 11th fastest at the start. 7,000ths inside that time of Dorothea Schwarz. Marg needs to pick up some time here.
That start curve really affecting Marg. She's only lost 1,000s, but I think a lot of damage was done in the start curve, so she's got to use all of that. She skids into 12, early to 13.
You can see she's in the red now.
500ths.
So Marg continues. Too much to do surely here, Natalie Marg. Disappointing second run, she's into 5th. She was expecting a lot more than that.
It was so close in that top 6. She'll be disappointed with that. The start curve where the problem started. But you see here in Shady going so low in the middle. And that's a scary place to be, because you know when that happens, the only way is up, back up at the exit. And that skid into 12, very difficult to recover from there for Marg.
Yeah, disappointment. How are your nerves, folks? Getting down to our final 6. Second of our US athletes. 3 US athletes in the top 6. The winner from Park City, Summer Britcher, whose mum down at the finish line is celebrating her birthday. There was a rousing chorus of happy birthday in between the 2 runs, which is lovely. Great luge community.
Track is clear to start 3 for Summer Britcher. Let's go, Summer.
Let's go, Summer, indeed. Don't leave anything out there. She steers into that first corner here. She's got that significant advantage over Schwartz. Just inside 0.2 of a second in front. It looks like a pretty good top of the course that she's putting together. A good Devil's Highway from Summer. And she's increasing that advantage as well here. It's a good run, this.
As you would expect from Summer in Lake Placid. 12-13 good. And 14 to the straightaway. This is where she made a mistake before, just having to dab her foot. But she's putting together more of a lead as she comes through the tricky bottom part of the course.
Yeah, she might have had to dab her foot, but she's maintaining speed here. And she's into the lead as well. Of course, great quality to come. Schwartz into second. Summer leads, 5 to go.
Well, there wasn't much more she could have done there. She left it all out there, as you always expect from Summer Britcher. Such a fierce competitor. That little slightly early to 13. But these US athletes, they know how to deal with it. And this, again, calm under pressure. Sees herself coming over, just a little drag steer. Doesn't cost her much. And that throws down a marker to the rest of the athletes in the top 5.
Nerves all around. She can sit and wait and watch and wonder, and it's Schulter now. Schulter, Frabel, Taubitz, Farquhar and Fischnaller to decide the women's singles in Lake Placid.
For Lisa Schulte of Austria.
Great stuff here from this Luge World Cup from our 3rd weekend. Who cares about the weather? Brilliant drama. Here's Schulter now. The time of Britcher is the one that they're all targeting. And she's already lost time here, Schulter. Over 0.03 of a second behind. It was a poor start from her. Can she pick up that time now?
She goes through the Devil's Highway. It's smooth into 10. But there's a lot of time, and it's dripping away even more. 1.5 tenths back. Good on to 12, though. 12-13 is going to be nice, and it is. 13 to 14, smooth as well. She may find something in the bottom of the track, keeps her cool, but it's 0.2 of a second she's got to find.
Too much time, surely, to make up here. She'd have to be absolutely perfect, and she's not. And Britcher still leads with 4 athletes to go, so it's going to be top 5 2 weeks in a row for Summer. Frabel, Taubitz, Farquhar and Fischnaller, the 4 that remain. I'm sure back home you've got an opinion about who's going to end up on top. It's going to be close.
And these times so close. in the top 4 now. Shorter stretching out there. The damage, you say, done in the top section so often as it is in Lake Placid. 4, 5, 6, 7, such tricky curves to get right.
Still wasn't quite enough there, Carl, to get ahead
Quickest
of the
time.
Summer Britcher.
The second run at the moment belongs to Summer Britcher. And as a result of that, she leads. Now Merle Frabel, determined to surge.
Track is clear.
We know how
Start
quick
3
she is.
For Merle Frabel of Germany.
Second in Winterberg, 6th in Park City. Still looking
Sledding
for a
from
win.
start 3.
Wants to be on top, has every chance, has time to make up certainly. On that first 3, she's lost time on Britcher here, Frabel at the top of the course. Now then, she was targeting those above them. She might be vulnerable to the athlete that was behind her, and she is vulnerable. And she's lost a little bit more time, nearly 900ths outside Frabel.
This is going to be tough to make back. She's very late to 12. Just gets away with that early entrance to 13. And straightaway's done beautifully by Frabel.
Bit more time has gone though. Surely Frabel now doesn't have time to make it up. Britcher is the target. Frabel's third. Schulter beats Frabel. Britcher still leads. I'll tell you what, the USA 1-2-3 is still on here. Taubitz will have plenty to say though.
As she always does, Merle Frabel start always deceptively fast, actually. She looks like she has slow paddles, but always pulls out a good start. But that 12-13 transition, didn't see that skid in real time. You saw a skid into 13. That costs a lot. Tried to make it up with that really nice 14-17 transition, but just wasn't enough once that time was lost.
Drop something in this track. Not only are you going to lose it indefinitely, you're probably going to.
As you can see, Taubitz
we don't want that. So just be
is over a tenth ahead. She lets that announcement just disperse on the wind.
Track is clear to start 3 for Julia Talbot.
This surely is the big threat to the Americans. Taubitz, second here in 2023. Taubitz looks for that aggressive line at the start. The 8th fastest, but good enough to have her at the moment ahead of Britcher. A little bit high there though, Taubitz. We're watching every single nuance of these runs because there is so little in it. She had a lot of time to play with, Taubitz.
She's lost 200ths in that section. High in 12, gets away with it, gets the shoulders back, stabilizes, and she's got her advantage back, but she's bouncing down the straightaway.
A 10th is the advantage. Taubitz remains in the green. She gets this right, she'll surely grab the lead. She does. It will not be a USA 1-2-3. Taubitz takes the lead with 2 to go here. The fastest time of this second run. You can't ask for anything more than that.
If you're going to bet on anyone to be cool under pressure, as Julia Taubitz. You see there, look at the position, doing that straightaway, fully blind. And she just catches that right chicane, but just kept her calm. Top section from Taubitz, looked like a home athlete. As you would expect from Julia, just a class act on that second run.
Ashley Farquharson, Emily Fishnella. You could see the advantage Farquharson started with over Taubitz. 12,000th of a second. Hear the cries as well of USA, USA.
3 for Ashley Farquharson of Team USA.
So dramatic, these conclusions. to get that momentum going early. She has done as she settles here. Farquharson still inside that time of Taubitz.
Devil's Highway looking smooth, but they're stabilizing it still. 15 thousandths of a second and she's into the red. Now the Americans are good through 12:13, and it is. This next split is going to be so critical. She just gets bumped across 300ths of a second back.
Just lost a little bit more time there. Farquharson was ragged there as well, and she's second. Taubitz or Fischnaller. You can see what it means to Taubitz, second here in 2023. And that's the worst place she can be. Is it going to be a Taubitz win? Only one person can deny her. A reminder, Taubitz, 12th in Winterberg, 8th in Park City. Short of form. It's come back here. Farquharson, in many ways, will be thrilled with top 3, which she's guaranteed herself. Taubitz overtakes her. Only Fischnaller to go.
Well, that was calm under pressure from Farquharson. But this time, in the first run from Fischnaller, was just wonderful.
Down to this.
Track is clear to start 3 for Emily Fischnaller of Team USA.
Emily Sweeney as was. Emily Fischnaller now. It's all down to her. This is this sport at its finest. You can see all of the passion, the intent in her face then. The time of Taubitz is there for us. Fischnaller ahead of her at the moment.
Top section good. Little high from 8 to 9, but keeps it calm. And Shady's looking good for Fischnaller. Just having to drop the feet into 11, and she's in the red.
Fischnaller needs to pick this up now. She is well in the red. Down to this crucial bottom part of the course. Can she negotiate it? She hasn't got much time in which to do it here. Fischnaller's losing time. Surely it's going to be Taubitz. It is. Fischnaller 4th. She drops from 1st to 4th. She can't believe it. Farquharson and Britscher are 2nd and 3rd. Fischnaller 4th. And it's Julia Taubitz who takes gold in Lake Placid.
Fischnaller just getting a little high on the exit there, and dropping her from Shady into that right wall. Massive disappointment for Fischnaller, especially after last week in Salt Lake City, where she had that big mistake into 11. Massive disappointment. You know it was there for her. Such a good slider on this track, Emily Fischnaller. But how about that for Farquharson, Britscher and Taubitz? I mean, still 2 medals for the USA on their home track.
But not another win. What a couple of weeks for Summer Britscher. 1st and 3rd. Farquharson top 3 as well. Fischnaller frustrated. First thing she said to her coach as well was, I don't know what happened in 7. That's where the mistake was, the first one. But let's not look at mistakes. Let's look at a glorious day for Julia Taubitz. Right back to form. 1 or 2 questioning her. And that's the best way of answering it. And Emma Eriksson, by the way, surging all the way to 16th in the end. Well, they've seen plenty of action. And boy, Mark, are they going to see plenty tomorrow.
We've got a lot of racing on tomorrow. It's going to be exciting to see the men go off the top of the track. And obviously the relays, the mixed and the doubles.
Well, there is our podium. Britscher on the right, Farquharson on the left. And Julia Taubitz, the world champion, makes a big statement in the World Cup as well. It's very hard to win. You can be the best in the world and not win every week. Taubitz, after a slow start, finally top of the podium.
Incredible racing from Taubitz. Really was, because she hasn't had a great start to the season.
Here's that World Cup table. Proc does still lead with Frabel now. Schwartz third, Taubitz up to fourth, Britcher and Farquharson, who missed an event, remember, fifth and sixth after 2 great weeks in the United States of America. Schulte, Bereiter, Marg and Hofer make up that top 10. That's going to be some fun race, isn't it, over the course of the season. Proc and Frabel, joint top of the table. There's the winning run. We'll hear in a moment from Julia Taubitz, our winner. She did a remarkable job.
It's just great, isn't it? You see, even with that mistake, that calmness from Taubitz, and when you think how many runs she's had on Lake Placid.
Julia, congratulations.
Not many.
It's a tricky track here. Did you expect to win here in the end?
Yeah, I really like this track here. I slide so, yeah, kind of. I'm so happy about it. I really like this track. The weather is not so easy, but I did it good, and yeah, I'm happy. Thank you. Liebe Grüße nach Hause und gute Nacht.
Well, she's delighted, isn't she? Said goodnight to everybody back in Germany. Second place, Farquharson. And hear from Ashley in just a moment's time to see her run that got her that second place. She does so much right here. Flying into that final turn.
Ashley, congratulations on the podium again after last week's race. How did you prepare for coming into this track? It's been tricky this week here. This track is known to be quite challenging, but you took everything from Park City and you're back again. Is this going to be a weekly thing now?
Well, I freaking hope so. Just the knowledge of how many runs I have down this track and how many different conditions I've slid on it in. And also, I think just because Park City last week was built so hard and this one is so notorious, I knew that as Americans we had an advantage and really leaning into that and trying to capitalize on it. Thanks. Okay. Thanks.
Interesting to hear that perspective. Capitalizing on just how tough it was. Summer Britcher also did that. Remember, the USA had Fischnaller in fourth as well. Taubitz came from third to win it. Farquharson moved up as well. Britcher went from sixth to third. Frabel was the real disappointment. Fischnaller as well. Here's
Congratulations,
Summer.
back on the podium again on home turf. Take us through your run at this quite challenging track.
Yeah, it was an okay run. Both runs were okay. I had a lot more speed up top in the second run, so luckily that was able to carry me through a small mistake in the chicanes. And yeah, it's just a ton of fun racing. You can hear the crowd over there. I have a ton of people here cheering me on. We all do, and so it's magical racing here in Lake Placid.
How much did the crowd help you, especially after run one, where you were not in the top three and then you finished again on the podium?
A ton, because I know they're going to be down here. They're just happy to be here supporting me, so I know that I can just relax and enjoy the run, just try to slide in a way that I'm proud of, and whatever result happens, it's what happens, and we can go have a great time now and celebrate. Thank you.
And go and warm up as well, which will be nice. Crowd have enjoyed themselves. A lot of friends and family and fans of this sport as well. Thrilling sport to watch up close. And a good day for the USA, but not a winning day. It was Germany's day here in Lake Placid. Julia Taubitz with gold for Germany. Having underperformed in Winterberg and Park City, she comes good in Lake Placid ahead of Farquharson and Britcher. Tab, it's his day, an action-packed day tomorrow. We'll be back with more from Lake Placid. For now, though, from all of us, from Mark and myself, bye-bye.
That good shot.
Julia, gratuliere. Unglaublicher Lauf hier auf einer Bahn, der bekannt ist dafür, relativ schwierig, technisch anspruchsvoll zu sein. Wie bist du an diese Bahn rangegangen?
Ja, ich habe hier schon sehr viele gute Ergebnisse erzielen können, habe ja auch noch einen Bahnrekord und ich rodel hier halt super gerne. Bin auch eigentlich von Lauf 2 an hier gut reingekommen. Der erste Lauf war noch ein bisschen durchwachsen und habe es heute tatsächlich einfach genossen, auch bei dem Schneesturm, ein bisschen Winter-Wonderland ringsrum. Also bin sehr zufrieden, ja.
Sag uns auch in der Olympiasaison, jedes Ergebnis, jedes Top-Ergebnis super wichtig. Nimmt dir das jetzt auch ein bisschen an Druck mit Blick auf Cortina?
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Also ich glaube, jeder weiß, dass ich anders in die Weltcup-Saison gestartet bin als die letzten Jahre. Also die letzten 2 Rennen taten schon ein bisschen weh, aber das ist alles ein Prozess. Das passiert alles auf dem Weg auch Richtung Olympia. Deswegen bin ich jetzt wirklich froh, dass ich auch mit so einem Sieg in die Weihnachtspause gehen kann. Und ja, gibt natürlich Aufschwung für die nächsten Wochen. Dankeschön. Steffi, sehr gerne. Danke.